welcome to another episode of RV Business Capital Talk, sponsored by Excel. I'm Rick Kessler from RV Business. Also from RV Business, we have Sherman Goldenberg. And joining us this afternoon, we have Ben Hirsch, Chief Operating Officer of Campers Inn RV, Jeff Hirsch, CEO of Campers Inn RV, and Debbie Hirsch, who tells us she's the big boss of Campers Inn RV. Thank you all for joining us.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Just goes to show, Rick, that everybody has a boss.
Don't we know it? Don't we know it? Well, of course, we happy to have you on in such a short amount of time, because today was the news broke that Campers Inn has acquired or is intending to acquire the assets of Lazydays, and we wanted to have you guys on to tell us a little bit more detail about what that all means, because that's a big bit of news right there.
But it's the big news, probably maybe of the year
For sure.
for the recreation vehicle industry, and we welcome the opportunity to talk briefly with you guys about it. Tell us what this means for your company. Your company that I was just reading really goes back to 1966, and Art and Fran Hirsch, and here we are in the years with an acquisition that purportedly is about $30 million if finalized, that will put you in the vicinity of 50 dealerships by 2026. What can you tell us about it?
Well, do you want me to go all the way back to 1966, or
No. I just did.
Okay, great. Well, first of all, as you know, being in a position to carry on the legacy that my mother and father started in 1966 is really important to me, and it's important to the third generation as well. From a meager start with 4 camper, 10 campers back then, to go ahead and see how we've grown today. It is surreal, and it's a very wonderful feeling to go ahead and essentially live their dream as well as our dream. Ben, why don't you go ahead and share a little bit about the acquisition and some of our thoughts on this.
And what
Sure.
it means to your company looking ahead.
Yeah. So we really feel like Lazydays is an unbelievably synergistic company with Campers Inn. So our family's company has been based on values for as long as I can remember. And, so my aunt and uncle are on here with me, and, my mother and father have given me stories as well. And ultimately, I've heard these stories. I'm third generation. I'm not the only third generation in the business. Obviously, I have cousins in the business. And what we're looking forward to is being able to carry on not only our family's legacy, but a Lazydays legacy that is very similar. So it also was started by some pretty prestigious people in the industry. Maybe Jeff has some ideas, and maybe bringing some of them back at the Tampa show to have a little reunion party sort of thing. More to come on that. But we also know that they built the business on service reputation, taking care of customers, and good values in how they treat their employees as well. And so Jeff and I have had the privilege of getting to know several of the people who have run the Lazydays organization over the years, and they've had some great leadership over the years. And so when we think of synergies with two companies coming together, we think this is awesome. So today I'm actually here at the Tampa store, and we're doing some diligence stuff transparently. But of course, some employees are talking, and they're very excited when they come up, because they also feel like they know the Campers Inn story, they know of us, and they feel like the values are aligned. And I would say that's one of the things I'm most excited about, is being able to help see two companies come together that have extremely similar backgrounds and extremely similar values.
One thing I was hoping you might be able to do for us, and I'm going to use my notes here so I get this right. Just some clarification really on what it is you're acquiring, because on the release, it was stated you're going to have the Tucson store, the Johnstown, Colorado store, Seffner, Florida, which is Tampa, Knoxville, Tennessee, and also St. George, Utah. Those stores for sure are going to be Campers Inn stores, excuse me. But there's additional stores that may or may not
Right.
continue.
So I'll let Jeff chime in here in a bit on this, but as you can imagine, a lot of these conversations happen in the background. So there's only so much information that we can gather
Okay.
from financials, from spreadsheets and financials and whatnot. And so as we did our pre-announcement diligence on this intended acquisition, we identified stores that were saying, yeah, those stores make a ton of sense. And the ones you just listed are the ones that we're saying, yep, let's move forward with. Transparently, either Jeff or myself or neither of us have been to some of these other stores. We need to, assess the opportunity in them. We need to go and just take another deep dive at some of these. So we're not hoping, by the time we get to the asset purchase agreement, there's going to be a lot more fidelity on those other 6 stores.
Okay.
But the reality is at this point, you can imagine from our standpoint, in a normal acquisition, you're talking like 1 or 2 stores, and sometimes the people, and kind of maybe the owners, maybe you've gotten to know their general manager through 20 Group or something else, because that's common for us. In this case, there's a lot of stores there's a lot of unknowns, and so we didn't want to overpromise, but we also don't want to say that we're not interested in stores that we're seriously taking a look at. Because you wanted to add anything on that, Jeff?
Go ahead, Rick. Go ahead.
We're right now, the announcement was a letter of intent.
Correct.
And if I remember correctly, eventually the goal is anyway to have whatever is finalized will be done by Thanksgiving. Is that right?
Yeah, the final close, the target date is Thanksgiving.
Okay. So I'm sorry, Jeff, you were going to say something, I think.
No, I think that Ben said it right. Until we get fidelity on the entirety, I don't think that we want to go ahead and essentially announce to the public that we were specifically getting the rest of the stores that we've identified, the stores that we certainly are going to go ahead and be involved in, and in hopes that maybe there are others.
Okay. Sherman?
Well, so big picture, no dates attached to the question. Well, how do you foresee the evolution of your company in the immediate coming years, in the next few years, through this?
That's a really great question, Sherman. Where my head goes is that we're really happy being a family-owned business, and though we are often asked, for whether or not we want to go and sell Campers Inn. Campers Inn is very dear to us, and I know a lot of people can afford to buy us, but in all seriousness, I don't know if they can afford the legacy. And legacy is really important. Reputation is important, and brand's important. And when you're trying to build an organization, with those elements, it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of commitment, a lot of passion, and we don't feel like we ever compromise that, because the only people that we have to answer to are the ones that we're looking in the mirror. So we're very proud of our legacy and our family and our tradition, and we want to carry on.
Very good.
I'd like to add one more thing. Jeff said it really well. Mine's like a Roman numeral 2, because it's not as good as the one that he just said. But so one of the ways that I think that we differentiate is our people focus, and I wouldn't argue that it's just internal, but it's external as well, and it's a total stakeholder focus. So I want to kind of expound on that. So on my own LinkedIn page yesterday and Facebook, I actually put some notes out about some of the Lazydays teammates that, because of the challenges at the company in the last few years, maybe have left the company. And we want to welcome some of them back in open arms because this is a storied company. Lazydays is a storied company. And we are really excited about folding it in, the potential of folding it into Campers Inn and creating something great. And it's because we really value people. We value the teammates that we have. Jeff and I began this year, and we were talking about our team, and he remembers the conversation. I'm like, Jeff, we have the best team we've ever had. Like, we're going into 2025 with the best team we've ever had. And I still feel that way. I feel like our leadership team is bullets. I feel like our team at the stores is really good. And I think that they really enjoy working for Campers Inn because of the culture that we have. I think being family owned and operated is part of that, but I think it's the spirit of how you operate as that sort of company, investing in people, caring about long run, but it's also how you treat your customers. Because if you can feel good about the way you treat your customers through trying to do the right thing with service, trying to take care of them throughout their entire journey, not just the first purchase, but the fourth and fifth and sixth purchase, I think your employees can get behind that. And there's nothing worse because we have a lot of stores. Sometimes we mess up. Sometimes we have stores that have some turnover and employees don't feel as good about it. But one of the things I'd say about our company is that we do our best to take care of the customers, and our employees feel good about that and they feel valued. And I think that is a differentiator because we can look at, years and decades and long term as a privately owned family company, just like Jeff was saying. And I think that gives us something special on the inside that people really enjoy working for us. Customers keep on coming back to us. And then the other stakeholder is obviously like manufacturers, our banking partners, and they're incredibly important to us. And we build those long-term relationships with them as well. We try not to be the dealer that switches because XYZ product is $100 cheaper, or this bank is going to give us a quarter point off or whatever. We try to be that long-term partner for our stakeholders based on the relationships and their commitment to the industry. So I would say long-term, what do we want this to be? We want to continue to be that stakeholder-focused, people-focused business.
You had mentioned in literature coming out since yesterday that an expanded coast-to-coast service network is one of your priorities. You just alluded to service, correct?
Yeah, I mean, this gives us so we have 3 stores in Arizona currently with the little dealer stores. This will give us another 6 stores out west. And, it's fantastic for us because it allows us to actually continue to service those customers. Obviously, Tennessee, it's our first foray into Tennessee, which is one of our biggest markets that we sell RVs into that we don't have a dealership in. So it's actually really good for us to now have physical dealerships there. We can take care of the customers there. And we've been in Florida, Jeff is going to know this more than me, but a long time now. And so this gives us a good opportunity to continue to take care of our customers there. And what I would say is we're still, like I said, we're still looking at the other stores. So I'm not trying to purposely exclude them. I'm just not trying to commit to anything at this point. But we are fully intending on welcoming the Lazydays customers into the Campers Inn family. So if someone's bought from Lazydays before, they should know that we want them to be Campers Inn customers for life. We're going to treat them like our customers. So we want them to continue to when they're coming in to trade or purchase or whatever their next phase is of their RV experience, like, you're part of our family now too. So I don't want them to feel like they're orphaned through this process.
Well, one other loose end, but I think Rick had something first.
I don't want to interrupt you, Sherm. Go ahead.
Well, I see allusions, of course, to a Tampa store
Yeah.
and your plans for it. Could you clarify what's going on down there and really some promotional aspects that are mentioned in your literature?
What do you want, Jeff? You want to take this one a little bit?
Well, as Ben alluded to, it's a storied company with a rich legacy.
Yes, it is.
I remember years ago, and it was BD, and BD is before Deb, when I was single and I was on 20 group, and we went down to Tampa, and Don Wallace and John Mancinelli hosted our 20 group.
Wow.
And they walked us through the dealership. And I remember Don Wallace saying, you can see the entire operation except my internet department. All right. Or actually, then it was probably a call center. We went out to lunch with Don and I sat next to him, and I wanted to make sure I sat next to him because I admired him. I admired on what this man built. All right. And there wasn't a dealer in the country that sold motorhomes that didn't lose a customer to Lazydays. And they built a destination that was renowned throughout the country and maybe the world. And when Ben and I thought about Tampa, we said, why can't we bring back Lazydays Tampa to its former glory? Why can't we go ahead and do the things that Don did and the vision that he had and expound on that with the scale that Camperson has? So it's truly our intention to make Lazydays Tampa the destination it once was and create an experience unlike anybody else. We're excited about that.
And you're talking about doing so with the original facilities that Lazydays under the Wallace family ran and owned?
All right, Sherman, Lazydays is on 125 acres.
Yeah.
They have a 300 site campground. They have a crown center. They have a facility that's unlike anything else in the country. And it's an attraction. So we're going to expound on that attraction. And there are things that we're going to do that we've been strategizing on in order to, like I said, just go ahead and build that to the destination that everybody wants.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so. Rick,
Well,
we're
more
on the
importantly,
clock.
almost done. One last question. Does this mean you're now going to be Buccaneers fans? Are you going to trade in your Jaguars hats?
Well, you're making an assumption, Rick, that I actually went from Patriots fans, all right, to Jaguars fan. I haven't made that transition yet.
Well, don't rush into it, right?
Your headquarters. Go ahead.
I am trying to go ahead and talk Deb into doing something in Tampa so that I can stop by the Tampa office and show my face there. A couple of things is that one thing I'd like to go ahead and say is that I've been very blessed and had a very wonderful career, at Campers Inn. I've loved what I've done and continue to go ahead and be excited about what's to come. I would never have been able to go ahead and accomplish that without the support that Deb has given me throughout the years and taking care of the family and being my, greatest cheerleader. So I wanted her on this call because there's so much that I'm indebted to because she gave me the opportunity to go ahead and build this dream. So now I want to say thank you for that and of everything that you've done. The other thing I want to go ahead and say is that I'm amazed at the support that we've got from the RV industry in this acquisition. People saying that, congratulations, this was the best outcome. Because it could have gone a lot worse. And when you think about what had happened to Lazydays because of the past 3 years when the industry has been on its heels, we've all gone through challenging times. And unfortunately, there were situations that led to this for Lazydays. But had this gone into a liquidation or a bankruptcy where inventory ended up flooding the market at potentially devaluing existing inventories out there, new and pre-owned, and maybe stalling manufacturer production lines because dealers were forced to go ahead and move out inventory and couldn't replace new inventory. It could have been really a disaster. So for Campers Inn to go and be part of an industry solution, I'm really thankful about that. I'm thankful to the manufacturers also that have allowed for a smooth transition with the brands. That's critically important for the value of an asset, whether it's an ongoing entity or an entity that has challenges like Lazydays. And one of the things that's really refreshing, not only from an individual that has fought for franchise um, rights for dealers, but it's a testimonial to the value of a dealership, even when a dealership falls on its heels. When there's value in the brands, there's value in the brick and mortar, the locations. There were several suitors for the Lazydays assets. And to me, this is very reassuring for all the lenders or the lending community, because the banks will be more willing to invest the billions of dollars that they do if they realize and know that even when there's a troubled asset, that it's recoverable. And in this situation, it was recoverable. And I want to thank the manufacturers for seeing, it the same way that we saw it, that Ben, that myself, that the Campers Inn team saw it, that when you have the equitable transfer of brands, there's still value in these assets. I want to go ahead and thank the manufacturers for seeing that. So
Well said.
appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah.
Ben, do you have any sign-off comments?
I'm good. Jeff said it well.
It's a good answer. All right, all right.
Sign us off. Want to thank all three of you for joining us. Congratulations. We haven't told you that yet, and we're premature or overdue in saying that to you, but congratulations. Exciting times once again in the Campers Inn family, huh?
Thank you.
we
We're ready
appreciate-
to go to work.
Again, we
Yes.
appreciate the opportunity to do this interview, gentlemen, and Deb.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.